We know what works. We just need to go big. We need to take these small programs that we have where we're educating 10, 15, 5 teachers, and we need to make them larger. The focus of my research is teacher education and special education, more specifically the knowledge and skills special education teachers need to be effective in the classroom. Last week, I testified in front of the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights. It was a bipartisan commission, and they were seeking expert testimony on the impact of COVID, specifically on teacher shortages, and then the resulting impact on learners with disabilities throughout the United States. I was the only teacher educator in any of the panels. There were panels that had parents and self-advocates, but mostly economists who were looking at the value of teacher education. And I very much found my role to focus on value not being monetary, but value being what a teacher brings to the classroom and the impact on learners. What we've seen is a decrease in teacher self-efficacy after COVID, and we know that teacher self-efficacy is directly linked to student outcomes. When teachers feel better, they do better, and students do better. And we're seeing more and more teachers with low self-efficacy, which leads to burnout. So teachers who were close to retirement retired early. Teachers who were considering going into the field saw what teaching was like and said, not for me. So I started my research journey as a participant, where they were constantly innovating and iterating on teacher education. I started teaching 2 weeks after graduating, and I was in a classroom for 6 students. So I had 6 students with autism, myself, and 2 assistants. And I saw the learning that was happening on such a small level. I went from there to becoming a building leader, and within 5 years, I wanted to go bigger. So how do we make a bigger impact? Research. And I spent my time here really studying teachers in New York City and learning more about what their needs are. We know what works. We just need to go big. We need to take these small programs that we have where we're educating 10, 15, 5 teachers, and we need to make them larger. So my research hopefully is pushing that just a little bit so we get more teachers into the field. On a smaller level, my research is impacting teachers in the classroom, where I'm working with them and for them to create practitioner-based teacher action research projects, where they in turn are making a difference in the lives of their students. There are specific knowledge and skills that help us define what a good teacher is. The biggest impact is a quality student teaching experience. So a good teacher who has learned from a mentor and has had a cooperating teacher and is in a supportive environment has learned. Once they have that knowledge, we kind of release. And once they're released into the wild of a classroom, we see where they shine. And what makes a good teacher is taking those skills, the both applied skills from their student teaching placement and the skills they've learned in the methods classes, and being able to say, I have a toolkit. And now I know enough to take information from both my methods and my experiences and apply them to meet the individual needs of a student. I think there are many centers of excellence and many bright spots within education, and I think it all comes down to the teachers. The teachers who are in our programs now, they want to be teachers, and they want to be teachers for the right reasons. They're out there to make a difference, to be the change makers, to be the leaders. We see many of our graduates go on to be school-based leaders and advocates, and to be a larger part in the fabric of education, really wanting to make a change. I see my students who are in practicum and student teaching coming back with stories and figuring out ways to problem solve and ways to be helpful within their classrooms that are so innovative, they're so motivated, and they want to work in the schools with the highest needs. The future of my research is access. So providing different ways to recruit and retain quality special education teachers. And that means we need to create more accessible programs for teachers. We need to meet teachers where they're at. So if they're working all day, we need to have classes that meet their needs. If they can't get to TC, we need to have programs that meet their needs. And once we have that, I want to know what works better. I want to know how we can create programs to create better teachers.